इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत हैं पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Thank you, Kanika. Friends, a very good afternoon to all of you. I welcome and thank you all for coming on the Investor Advantage session on this Thursday noon. I'm Sonia Chaudhary and I'm part of the management at Franchise India. And I come with nearly 2 decades of experience in, working with business buyers and investors like you to take an informed decision. And also have been working very closely with, in my tenure, a few thousand companies that I've worked very closely in helping them expand their footprint across India. So then this session is all about, how you can, start your business. And Franchise India, as a company, we are a start your own business specialist. So this session is about starting your own business. India, is a very big shopkeeper nation. We have every home, I'm sure you would have people in your family, your friends who have an aspiration of starting and owning a business at some point in their lives. To the extent, we are a startup nation, and everybody who passes out from B schools, they have an aspiration of starting something on their own. So, being an investor-centric and a franchise-focused company, this became the purpose at Franchise India, where we felt that we wanted to work with every aspirational, entrepreneur or a business buyer who wanted to start a business, and we could work with them and make them self-reliant through entrepreneurship. So this also became the foundation of a company where our platform of Franchise India has been working in these, since nearly now, this is the 24th year of our business, and our platform of Franchise India has worked very closely with prospective franchisees like you to research the opportunities available in the market, evaluate the business options that you see, and at the same time also learn from the industry experts. Millions of business buyers in these many years have actually trusted our platform to research from a unit franchisee, master franchisee, multi-unit, international brand. And I would also say that we had the privilege, of working directly with nearly 82,000 investors now, where we gave them guided solutions. We combined our industry knowledge, brought our experience, which we have gathered over the years, and were a part of every step till they decided, to sign on the dotted line. Right from the stage where we gave them information, evaluated the opportunities, what were right for them, and equipped them with enough information so that they could take a responsible decision, informed decision of buying a business. And over these years, I would say we have also been fortunate that we have a great distribution now all across the country, which means that about 97 cities in India has a representative of Franchise India. So we have our teams all across the country in all major cities, and all these cities are the biggest consumption, I would say, cities in the country. We have our local teams, our local advisors who even go meet, or you can come in our offices in these locations to even brainstorm what is right for you. So while there's a small presentation that I would want to take you through, but before I do that, because this business is about starting a business, it's more about you, and so I request all of you if you can make it very, very interactive, very, very engaging. And so I will also say, when we start or think of buying an opportunity or starting a business, the opportunities for entrepreneurship are many. There are plenty and they're varied, and there is no limit always, I feel, in what we want to begin. Every time I communicate with investors, business buyers, there's a lot of I would say confusion sometimes which is going on. How do I start? Where do I start? And why this business over the other business? Why this industry over the industry, any other industry? And all these questions, I'm sure, would also overwhelm a lot of you, because a lot of information today is available freely, But I would also say, if you want to start a business, that comes with established brand name, a business model, franchising has historically, been considered a very good fitment for any business buyer, and especially maybe the first time business buyer. अगर मैं पहली बार कोई business में उतर रही हूँ, I don't want to go wrong with the risk, because there's a big risk of investment which is involved. There's also big risk that you're putting. Maybe you're putting the business for somebody in your family, your children, or somebody close. So it also comes with a big risk. So franchising has always been considered, as a safe business option. And while there are other businesses also one can start, आपका खुद का startup हो सकता है, कोई existing franchisee है उसको भी आप take over कर सकते हैं, कोई existing business है वो भी आप take over कर सकते हैं. And third, obviously, is franchising, where you start everything from scratch, run the business, operate that over a period of time. And if you like the business, the brand is great, you even renew that business for the next term. Second, the question would be, when all that information is easily available, today, why would somebody like Franchise India, what value as a company that we can add? And I also personally feel, having a mentor, is something which is very, very valuable. And this is not just in business buying decision, but across, I would say, anything that you want to do in our life. We always reach out to somebody who has some experience either in life or if I talk about business, so that we can get some valuable inputs. And why we need that mentor, so that my risk attached with that decision, is hedged, or I can reduce that risk to an extent. So having a mentor can be valuable in your business buying decision, because the advisor brings in a lot of insights on the industry, his own experience. He is able to align your interest and create a balance between you and the brand that we wish to mutually move ahead. And also, as a potential investor, you might find it very, very difficult how to start, where to start. So advisor can help you assess the viability of the business model, at the same time also help you outline the strategies and the timeline of your path of starting the business. So timeline becomes a very, very important part when we want to start a business. And at the back of our mind, sometimes we're not very vocal about when we want to start the business, but at the back of our mind, if we are very serious about buying a business, timeline is something which is where we start working backwards. If I know I want to start the business, say in 3 months time, 2 months time, 6 months time, I would be in a situation where I'm already starting to work backwards. So my first question, friends, to all of you, and I'll ask a couple of questions, and more questions we have, you have. It will make the session very, very interactive. And one, interactive, and second, many questions that you would ask. आपके भी कुछ questions होंगे, which can become even helpful when I answer them, or we take these questions, can also be helpful to many other investors who have joined the webinar. So friends, I'll take this question and I'll request all of you, अगर आप मेरे को आप बता सकें, if you are any serious buyer, you're looking at starting a business, I'm sure there's a timeline in your mind. आप कब business शुरू करना चाहते हैं? What is that timeline for you? You want to start it in a month's time, 2 months time, 15 days, 20 days, 3 months time, 6 months time, whatever the timeline is, please go ahead in the Q&A box, type कीजिए. I will read that out. And at the same time, if you can also add your cities, अगर आप cities भी अपने बता सके कौन से cities से आप आए हैं, that will be helpful for me, guys. So please go in the Q&A. Let's start writing in. क्या timeline है आपके दिमाग में for starting a business? What city you're looking at? So welcome, friends. Welcome, Mohit ji. So we have Mohit ji, Mohit Negi ji. He's our first, I would say, participant who has responded. So Mohitji, looking for 1 year, within 1 year you want to start, and the city is Chennai. Very, very helpful. And friends, please go ahead, keep writing in. I'll take all these. I want to know what is the timeline. That also brings some sense of seriousness when I communicate. What city you're looking at. And my third, which will I also add, I'm not too sure if you already decided the industry. Sometimes you already have some basic industry or maybe a broad industry in mind ki food mein karna hai, retail mein humne karna hai. If you have an industry also in mind, please go ahead and put that industry, or maybe a category. You say footwear I want to do, I want to open a cloud kitchen, I want to open a coaching institute. Even if that specific we can go, I'll be more than happy to see that response coming in. So Nidhi ji, welcome. Nidhi ji is looking for starting a business in 6 months. And friends, I will also say, while we have our teams all across the country, and sometimes while we reach out through these digital platforms, and I think the last 2 years, these digital platforms have played a very, very important role where we are able to reach out even remote locations and advise people and, help them start a business. But since markets are opening up, and this is not a decision that we take every year, बहुत सारे investment decisions होते हैं, अपना घर का भी कई बार आप 2 प्रॉपर्टी में भी इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, हम हर 5 साल बाद एक व्हीकल खरीदते हैं ऑन एन एवरेज, some policies and some investments we do, but एक business ऐसा decision होता है which we don't do every year. ये 5 साल 10 साल में at the most, majority of people who will do ever business in their life would not do more than once, in certain cases maybe 2. Only seasoned I would say entrepreneurs or serial entrepreneurs, they might look at multiple choices, but this is something which is with an average person like all of us, or investor like all of us, this is only a one-time decision in our life. So this has to be taken with a lot of due diligence, and I would also add brainstorming. So aapko brainstorm karna hai. I would request all of you, even if today you don't decide you want to register with us and pay this fee to get a registered member of Franchise India, I would still urge all of you to come, meet, explore, brainstorm, and especially everybody who's out of Delhi NCR. Nidhi ji, aap Delhi mein. I'll also request if we can set up a meeting. Our office is in NCR, and I'll be more than happy to along with my advisors have a meeting with you. So that gives us a lot of insights about you, your own profiling, what investment you want to make, is that viable for the location you want to open. So all that is something that we also work. Vijay Patel ji, welcome. You're looking at 3 months time. And Abhay Kasliwal ji, welcome. You're looking at 15 days to 1 month, and that's very quick. So which means you must have already shortlisted some businesses categories, or you must have already started meeting out. You're from Rajasthan, Bhilwara. Happy. And I also see Kisle Kannuji, and I wish to start the business by year, and I'm from Maharashtra, Navi Mumbai. Kisle ji, we have our teams in Bombay, rather we have our office in Andheri East in Technopolis. I will also request, if we can have a meeting, I'll have one of my team members get in touch with you. And Deepak Kumarji is looking for something in hydroponics, aquaponics, and this is new category, and a lot of new companies, startups have come in this business. Deepak ji, we would definitely be able to give information on brands which exist in this category. Nidhi ji, you see, I don't have any idea in mind, but really want to get it to starting a business. And that's what I feel. That's what I said. A lot of us want to do something, but I don't know how to get started, where to get started. That's where, our advisory actually comes in. So Nidhi ji, I'll request if we can have a meeting sometime in this week or the coming week. And welcome, Amitji. We are very close to where you are from. You're from Faridabad. Hamara office should be just about 15-20 minutes, maybe 25-30 minutes. I don't know which part of Faridabad you are. We are there on Surajkund Road. So I'll also request if we can have a meeting at our office sometime in this week or coming. Ankit ji, welcome from Nagpur. You're looking to expand the medicine. You want to expand. So Ankit, I'll request if you are a brand and you have a medicine shop, I am putting my number, and if you can reach out to me on this, I'll be able to, advise you. It's 8800493185. I've also put my email ID. So if you can reach out and speak after the webinar, I'll be able to connect you also with my Maharashtra teams. Abhishek ji, welcome from Hyderabad. And Narzo, if that's the name, looking for something in healthcare. We have a lot of opportunities in healthcare, from dialysis center to pharmacy shops to even clinics, these healthcare clinics. So a lot of information we can share. And Abhishek ji, looking for something for your wife, and you have a lot of opportunities for women entrepreneurs today. And there are companies like even Eurokids, we are working very closely with this company Eurokids. They are India's biggest education hub. and all their franchisees are women entrepreneurs. And there are companies like even Tupperware, where they have a policy of only giving women entrepreneurs the rights to do the business. So Abhishek ji, we can advise you some other businesses also. अगर आपका interest किसी और category में है, health, beauty, wellness में है, there are many opportunities that we can discuss. And Brijesh ji, welcome. You're looking for something for your district in Bihar. I have my teams based out of Patna. They should be able to reach out to you. So guys, keep writing in as many answers as I can give, but I cannot, because of the dearth of time and the interest of time, I cannot discuss every opportunity in detail. So this particular webinar will help you in assessing, so the idea is, how we can work with you, one, and how can you as an investor assess how to start, where to start, And when I say franchising, why franchising, right? So franchising is considered as a good instrument even for companies, because they get somebody who has skin in the business, they get somebody who is an owner like them in the business. At the same time, for an investor like you, it reduces your investment risk, because the business of franchising, it provides a safety net. There's a proven formula in place. You just replicate the formula, follow systems and processes, and make the business sustainable. And there's a likelihood of success, which is a higher likelihood of success. At the same time, it can work only well when I would say candidates or partners have entrepreneurial spirit to run the business. I have seen people, especially first-time business buyers, doing phenomenally, well in franchising. So irrespective you have an experience in the past or you don't, that does not make a difference. As long as you have a spirit, you can do well in the business. So it does create a lot of intelligent synergies, because you as an investor or a business buyer, I would say, or an operator, not just an investor, but you're an operator in the business and have skin in the business. You bring in the combined strength as a business partner, and your combined strength would mean your knowledge on the market, your time that you put in the business, because in the business role is something which a franchisee can take care of, while everything which is on the business, systems and processes, national marketing, new product development, new I would say course development, if it is education, all that is something which company takes care of. The only role which a franchisee has is to execute that and make his unit efficient. So you both bring in your expertise. So when a company is looking at partnership, and similarly you as a franchisee, you also need to have a very holistic approach. You need to look at your interest, aapka experience, finances, time involvement, risk, what you want to take. At the same time, companies also look at the right fitment, because the success or failure of any business is also dependent on the profile of the partners, how involved they are in the business, how well they understand the business. So all that is something which is very, very important. So it is I would say it's a marriage of two partners. So you need to get into a lot of information detailing before you get in the business. So I'll request Kanika if we can have a presentation put out. And I will also say, anytime you want to take a decision of lifetime, and especially good decision making in the initial period, when I say initial period, this is a time because you've not started. So good decision making in the initial period requires appropriate information and data. So that's where, I would emphasize on. And I'll take you quickly on this presentation also. And if you have any questions as I speak, you can keep putting, and I'll take it in between and also at the end. So what we'll talk about is, your own fitment, how do I assess whether that business is right for me or not? So, at Franchise India, we have been working in this so many years, and this is something which is tried and tested. And we understood these are 5 assessment tools which every business buyer must be able to assess before he wants to buy a business, because buying a business एक न्यू चैलेंज है, एक लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटी है, इट्स अ न्यू एक्सपीरियंस व्हिच इज अनलाइक एनी अदर you might have experienced, right? But successful investing is not easy. We have created a framework that can help you take a qualitative analysis of all the potential insights on what options to adopt. So this is a very integrated approach where 5 assessment tools, which include your self-assessment, industry assessment, market जिसमें आप खोलना चाहते हैं, peer-to-peer, which is competition assessment, which is very important, and lastly the brand that you have selected. So in 5 assessment tools को हमने आगे 25 points में divide किया है, which means that what all we need to look at when we look at buying the business. So when you look at this slide, these are 25 points, and every point has a weightage. So all these 25 points have 1 mark or 1 point, weightage. So if you tick on these, and if you score anything above 20, the opportunity is excellent. All I would say probability the business would be a success. 15 to 20 score would mean good, but anything which is less than 15 is something we don't advise. अगर आपका score 15 से कम आता है इस score board के ऊपर, then the opportunity that you have selected is not right. आपने industry change करनी है या brand change करना है, maybe the market that you're opening is not right. So you go back on the drawing board, work on this again, and figure out what is right. So quickly I'll explain these assessment tools also. Now self-assessment I say is the most valuable tool for anyone. अगर हम business करना चाहते हैं, जिंदगी में कुछ भी करना चाहते हैं, to me, to my own experience, my knowledge, everything starts from what I want to achieve, right? मेरे लिए क्या important है? And these goals for all of us would be different. We all have different aspirations. We all have our own skill set. So whenever we want to start anything in our life, चाहे अपना business भी शुरू करना है, सबसे पहले हम देखना चाहिए अपने आप को. We need to assess ourselves, and we need to evaluate some, personal traits, our business skills, our experience, our knowledge, maybe on that business, our investment appetite, and most importantly, I would say the ability to meet the challenge. Whether that business is your own or a business is a franchisee, every business would come with some set of challenges. So your own ability to meet the challenge is very, very important. And secondly, what entrepreneurship means to you. So entrepreneurial mindset is very important. We need to assess a lot of things, and it starts with the life goals. And when you have life goals clearly understood and defined, you need to align these life goals with the business goals. So this is a stage of self-discovery where you find out, what you're passionate about. And if that passion also converts to a business model, which can help you earn money and have income, right? So we look at financial goal, the very first thing, and that's anything that you want to do starts with that financial goal. And here are three things that you must look at. Financial goal would have first and foremost timeline. What is the timeline for you to achieve? Is it mid-term, long-term, short-term? What is the timeline for you to achieve that time, financial goal? Second, you need to look at risk. And third, you need to look at return. So when I say risk, what is the risk appetite you have? क्या risk आप ले सकते हैं? And क्या return आप expect करते हैं? Because risk and return are proportionate to each other. अगर आपका risk appetite कम है, तो आपका return भी उसके proportionate ही define होता है. I'll explain you by citing, 3 fundamental goals of our investment. Whatever asset classes we invest, whether that's a property we invest, a business that we invest, or some, safe instruments like an FD or a deposit with a post office, or whatever we do, हर एक asset class का अपना एक fundamental goal होता है, which is in our minds. As an investor, if I have safety as a fundamental goal, कि I need safety, I don't want to put my money where there is even slightest risk, I will look at instruments which gives me, complete safety. But these instruments and asset classes, when it says safety, will also mean that it comes with low risk and also low return. Anything safety as a fundamental goal is low risk, low return. Second goal is income. I want to have income. Income would mean that I'm looking at moderate risk and moderate returns. Third goal is growth. I want to have high growth business. Whenever we look at high growth business, it means that I'm happy to take a high risk, but equally I want my return to be rewarding. So there cannot be any other equation. I cannot have, a business which comes with zero risk, but highest return. A lot of companies claim there's no risk, but high return. I don't agree. I've not seen any such business in my own, 20 years. But every business has to have an equation of, low risk, low return, high risk, high return, moderate risk, moderate return. And whatever investments you choose have to fit in, that fundamental goal, which you have to decide for yourself. Second is capital, where we always advise our investors, एक तो आपको बहुत leverage नहीं करना है, loan नहीं लेना है. I've seen a lot of businesses failing because they over leverage themselves. अगर investment करनी है तो उसमें से कई बार 60-70% loan ले लेते हैं and 30% अपना जो cash होता है वो उसमें invest करते हैं. And the first 6 months are very, very important, because you need cash flows to run the business, you need working capital, और आपके जो cost of capital बढ़ जाते हैं, because the moment you start your business, you have to start, paying your EMIs to the bank, and उसके ऊपर आपके पास एक working capital का भी pressure hota hai. So I would advise, even if that loan has to be taken, ideally it has to be 75-80-20 kind of a ratio, where your debt loan जो भी आप ले रहे हैं वो कम से कम 20-25% से ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए. So over leverage आप मत कीजिए, because the biggest reason businesses fail is financial mismanagement. Third is time involvement in the business. Largely I would say, अगर globally आप businesses देखेंगे, 95% of the businesses which are actually using the franchise route to expand, they need people who can run and operate the business. Unko passive investors nahi chahiye. They don't need people who just put in money and the company takes care of all operations. So time involvement is very, very important aspect if you want to run a business. And I can maybe say you don't need to sometimes put maybe 15 hours in that business or 8 hours in the business. Time involvement would depend on the industry that you're looking at. Maybe if you're looking at maybe a preschool, child care, you don't need your entire day. You have half day and you can put balance time in other activities or other business. Retail hai, food hai. So every industry time involvement would differ, and you need to understand, if I'm looking at this business, ask the company how many minimum number of hours I need to be involved in the business. And initially the time involvement should be higher. I would say at least first 6 months, jab tak aapka business stabilize nahi hota, that time involvement has to be highest. Lot of functionalities, lot of operational things you would not know. You will only know when you are a part of that business. Having said that, we also have a lot of companies, and I would say 4 to 5% ऐसा भी portfolio है where you only invest and company takes care of everything else. आप पैसे लगाइए, company आपको fixed return भी देती है, company आपका manage भी करती है operations, सारे expenses भी operating expenses manage करती है. But typically these investments, would start anything upwards of 1 crore, 5 crore, 15 crore, upwards kind of an investment. And when companies look at an investment like this, where your money is invested and company takes care of operations, the only reason is a couple of reasons. One, and majority क्या होता है कि operational complexity होती है business में, which the company does not want to compromise, and they're very sensitive about how the operations are run. Maybe sometimes in healthcare, super specialty hospitals, I would say, आप investor होते हैं, company कहती है, brand कहता है, let me run the hospital, you just become an investor, invest, and they give you a revenue share on the business. Sometimes even businesses like Tata Chroma, Chroma is franchising, but the company Tata takes care of all operations, right? सारे operations company take care करती है, सारे operating खर्चे company handle करती है. They give you a revenue share. 21 साल का agreement sign करती है, 21 years they sign the agreement, and they give you a revenue share on whatever sales that happen. And इसके अलावा there are also some businesses which I would say are passive investments, but more of, I would say, financial product, like fractional real estate is becoming very big. Globally बहुत बड़ा business है fractional real estate का, and a lot of us who want to invest in real estate, sometimes are not able to invest in bigger properties. So there's a very big opportunity, and we recently, launching also one company called Beehive, based out of Bangalore. They're launching their fractional real estate ownership, जहाँ पे आप 10 लाख invest करके भी एक real estate के owner आप बन सकते हैं, and company gives you fixed rental every month. हर महीने आपको 3 महीने के बाद आपको एक fixed rental आपको company देती है, and they allocate you share based on the investment that you make. So 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 50 lakh, 1 crore, जो भी आपने investment आपने करनी है आप कर सकते हैं, and company creates a separate vehicle, SPV उसको बोलते हैं, where all your investments are parked, and आपको 10 साल तक एक guaranteed yield आपको company देती है, सारा risk company लेती है. So another business model like this is also a company called Rent to Mojo, again a Bangalore headquartered company. They're into rental solutions, so you can invest with company in slabs of 25 lakh onwards, और आपको starting from the first month एक guaranteed return आपको company देती है. So there are also instruments like that where you can also invest, where you don't have to have infrastructure or physical asset to be run. Company takes care of that. I'll be able to discuss more. If anybody is interested, you can reach out and we can discuss on that. So lastly is your fallback plan, which is very important for any business जो भी हम शुरू करते हैं अपनी जिंदगी में, चाहे वो हम अपनी education या career के बारे में सोचते हैं, we always have a fallback plan, and this is true even for starting a business. For reasons it requires a little high gestation time. You should have something to fall back upon. Second, understanding the industry is equally important, and especially at a time I was seeing some comments from some of you where some of the industries that you have shown interest are new industries. बहुत सारे new businesses आए हैं, and इनको जानना बहुत जरूरी है, क्या demand है उनका, what is the supply currently, is that supply sufficient for the demand in the market, कौन सी markets उस particular business के लिए ripe है या immediate potential है उनको खोलने का. That's something you need to understand. So where you need to look at some of the critical factors, also why that particular brand would be successful in the industry. अगर industry आपकी अच्छी है, sunrise industry है, but why that particular brand would be success in that particular industry is something that we all need to get in-depth understanding on. So what we look at is the opportunity size, how big the opportunity is, overcrowded तो नहीं है, is that a commodity which I'm trying to take to the market, can I have as an investor first mover advantage, very very important to understand. Second is your growth prospect, and especially when we look at times like we are in, हम हमेशा देखते हैं कि ये business आने वाले 3-4 महीने में चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा, तो नहीं करते हैं. lot of people are buying education, preschools, because they know ultimately सब कुछ खुलने वाला है. If I want to open a preschool, the time is now, so that I have ready, children when I launch my school. So we need to look at growth prospect. अगर बिजनेस हमारा 5 साल 10 साल चलने वाला है, अगर हमें लगता है कि आने वाले 5 साल में हमारे बच्चे स्कूल जाएंगे, इट इज राइट टाइम टू ओपन, सो वी नीड टू लुक एट फ्यूचर फिट बिजनेसेस एंड एटलीस्ट हॉराइजन जो नेक्स्ट 5 या 10 साल में बिजनेसेस चलने वाले हैं उनको देखते हुए आप इन्वेस्ट कीजिए. Equally important is demand and supply, which I talked about, and innovation, which I would say is very important. Companies, brands which are not innovating, which are not relevant to consumers like us, वो sustain नहीं कर पाती हैं. And we have seen last 2 years lot of these companies जो vanilla stores थे या ऐसे unorganized chains थी, वो सारी की सारी बंद होती गई, because they didn't have a innovation, they didn't have maybe a tech advantage where they could bring maybe a distinctive product, solution or service offering. All these companies started shutting down. So when you look at company to select, आपने देखना है, how relevant their product is to the end consumer, and if this is something which they're continuously innovating over a period of time, because today's innovation becomes redundant, obsolete हो जाता है. What we were doing 5 years back is no more relevant today. So we need to look at the agility of the companies when it comes to innovation. Market assessment, again, very, very important. And we need to look at, is the business new? कई बार business ही नया है, so business नया है, क्या उसकी overall opportunity है? Second, is that industry new? Industry के बार नहीं हो सकती है. When I say business new, industry जानते हैं लोग, successful businesses है industry में, but ये particular brand या business आपके लिए नया है. Second, the industry can be new. थर्ड, यू मस्ट ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड किस स्टेज पे वो बिजनेस है. स्टार्टअप स्टेज पे है, ग्रोथ कर चुका है, ऑलरेडी एक मार्केट में बड़ा इंपैक्ट क्रिएट कर चुका है, मार्केट शेयर ले चुका है. तो ये सारी स्टेजेस आपको बिजनेस की समझनी बहुत जरूरी है, विच इंक्लूड सम ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स, इवन लाइक द रेगुलेशंस. रेगुलेशंस वुड मीन योर लाइसेंसेस दैट यू नीड टू लुक इन, एंड जितने भी आपके रेगुलेशंस होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल लिकर लाइसेंस के रेगुलेशंस मेरे स्टेट में क्या कहते हैं, and this is both a center and a state subject. So center के अलग अपने guidelines होते हैं, but state is also very, very important. So आपके state के guidelines क्या बोलते हैं उस licenses को लेके, you must understand liquor license हो गया, drug license हो गया, electric vehicle license हो गया, which companies जो state आपकी हैं, governments हैं, they give you some subsidies on electric vehicles. So you need to understand whether it is suitable for, because ड्रग लाइसेंस का भी, इफ आई लुक एट महाराष्ट्र, हर स्टेट के अलग अलग गाइडलाइंस हैं. सो यू मस्ट स्टडी दीज गाइडलाइंस एंड हाउ एप्रोप्रिएट दे आर फॉर योर सिटी. So drug liquor license की मैं अगर बात करूं, some locations, some states in India, barring Delhi, maybe if I take maybe AP, Hyderabad है, Bangalore में, I'm working with so many kinds where liquor license is very, very tricky. The cost is sometimes very higher, and कुछ locations पे आप सिर्फ transfer कर सकते हो. You cannot take a new license, but you can transfer from an existing operator. So all these things are very important to be understood, discussed with the brand. And equally important is the real estate, जहाँ पे आप business आप शुरू करते हैं, and real estate will always very, very important part it will play when you want to open something which is a retail store, a food store, चाहे वो cloud kitchen भी हो, location हमेशा एक important role play करता है. So the only rule which I think works very well when choosing a property is you need to look at your competition. One, किन मार्केट्स में आपको कंपटीशन प्रेजेंट है. सेकंड, व्हाट मार्केट्स आर परफॉर्मिंग बेस्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड. दे माइट बी प्रेजेंट इन मार्केट्स, बट यू नीड टू लुक एट मार्केट जहां पे उनका प्रेजेंस है एंड देयर परफॉर्मेंस इज आल्सो गुड. जहां पे परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा है उनका, दोस लोकेशंस विल डेफिनेटली डू वेल इवन फॉर यू. सो यू नीड टू बी क्लोजर टू वेयर योर कंपटीशन इज, बिकॉज यू गेट अ गुड सब्सक्राइबर, बिकॉज वो मार्केट या वो एरिया जो है वो अवेलेबल है, वहां पे आपका टारगेट ऑडियंस ऑलरेडी आ रहा है, आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ मार्केटिंग भी आपकी नीचे जाती है. Now, talking about peer-to-peer, which is competitive assessment, this is very, very important. You need to look at, what is the competitive advantage the business is offering vis-a-vis maybe the national competition, regional competition, या state level पे, city level पे. कई बार कुछ brands होते हैं जो शायद आपको offer करते हैं. So आप देखिए क्या मेरा competitive advantage है, which makes the brand which I have chosen, stand out vis-a-vis the competition at, all these levels. Penetration देखिए, performance which I talked about. Barrier to entry is also very, very important. So barrier to entry are basically any difficulties which makes a new company to enter a given market, which can be tech challenge, but technology ऐसी है जैसे couple of days back I was speaking to an association of laundry in West. He was the head of laundry association. He said and we were actually looking for a master franchisee of a leading international brand called Mr. Jeff. Now this company is coming to India and they are already one of the biggest laundry players in the world. And every market this company has gone in, they've captured a very big market share. They went to Brazil, which is a country I would say similar to India, fragmented hai, geography, demographics, बहुत diversified hai. They acquired the biggest chain there and they've consolidated the market. So I happened to speak to one of the association heads, and he said, they're all people who are running their laundries, but the only problem is technology nahi hai unke paas, because of which they're not able to compete with other businesses jo unki shayad aas-paas operate karte hain, because they have technology in place. Second, at the cost of procurement also sometimes is very high, because I'm procuring only for a single unit. But when a bigger company comes, which like a company like this is managing more than 3,000 franchisees across the world, 40 countries mein. So their buying would be very different to an individual buying. So all these are things we need to understand when we look at a market, which is technology, government regulations, patent, licensing requirements, if there are any, so which makes maybe a new business difficult to enter a certain market. कौन-कौन से barriers हैं, उसका competition analysis आप जरूर कीजिए. क्या आपकी offering and how different my product is to the competition, So you need to establish what is the value proposition I'm giving to my end consumer. कई बार pricing को लेके भी हो सकता है वो differentiation, and pricing does not mean I'm giving cheap so I'm good. So we need to be looking at lot of aspects here. So offering क्या है हमारी, differentiator क्या है मेरे product का, and if my product is differentiator, and differentiator can be technology itself, which I talked about. I'm working with some of the leading cloud companies in India, which are cloud kitchen companies, and if you see 2 साल में बहुत सारे brands अगर Zomato पे थे ना वो सारे बंद हो गए हैं. These were just companies, they had no tech understanding, but जितने भी new age businesses आ रहे हैं, they have a very big tech piece. And because they have technology integrated in their business model, उनको मालूम है कि किस area से demand आ रही है, and they would be able to even guide their investors कि this location इस product की demand है, यहाँ पे मेरे को इतनी demand है, and they already have a ready business which they can propose or even guide their investor to find the right location. Lastly is brand assessment, which is very important. And I would say not all franchisees or franchisors, so to say, companies' brands, they are same. So what you need to do is you need to research and get to know everything about the company and the brand that you want to invest. There's some things which I would say are very important. 3 things, you must ask the company and know about them, primary, secondary sources in your meetings. When you go for these tri-party meetings, discovery days with the company, one, how long the company has been into the business. Second is, what is the average success rate of the business? When I say average success rate, it can be average success rate of the franchisee who's running the business. It can also be the average success rate of the outlet which the company is running. There are many companies which have their own company and outlets, but they're now, bringing a partner who can run the business, and they transfer the entire operations to them. Third is, how long do their franchisees stay in the business on an average, which is also a very big testimonial. A lot of franchisees come, but they also go at the same speed. आते हैं, उनका count almost same ही रहता है. So अगर वो ratio 15-20% है, अगर आपके 100 आते हैं 15-20 जाते हैं, which is okay. But if it is anything beyond say 20, 25, 30% or even beyond, then I need to put a question mark on why these people don't stay even for the full tenure. मिनिमम जो हमारे टर्म होते हैं एग्रीमेंट्स के 5 साल के हैं, उससे पहले अगर लोग वापस जा रहे हैं या नहीं बिजनेस आगे कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं, then we have to question these companies. So ये information आप जरूर लीजिए from every company that you meet. And other things which are important are also, which is credibility, commitment of the company, their past performance, which is also very important, standardization, of their SOPs, which are, their standard operating processes, because any company which does not have SOPs in place, they cannot help you replicate the business model. आपकी operational efficiencies नहीं आएंगी जब तक आपके पास standard SOPs हैं, and you have to be trained on that SOPs, how to run and operate the business model. And where I always recommend that you must also bring somebody from your family, your business partner, who also becomes a part of any training which the brand is doing at the launch and also ongoing training. Third is your operations cost and reinvestment. You should always be एबल टू एंटिसिपेट आपके अगले 6 महीने साल के क्या आपके ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट रहेंगे, रेंटल क्या रहने वाला है, आपकी सैलरी कॉस्ट क्या रहने वाली है, और 1 साल के बाद ये सारी कॉस्ट के ऊपर आपका एस्केलेशन होता है, आपका रेंटल बढ़ जाता है, आपकी सैलरी कॉस्ट 5-10% जाती है, आपका रेंटल बढ़ता है, उसके प्रोपोर्शनेटली इज योर बिजनेस ऑल्सो rising or not is something that you need to question the brand, ask the brand, and citing examples of some of the locations which they already run. एग्जाम्पल्स आप लीजिए कि अगर आपके आउटलेट आपका चला है, एंड टेक रियल टाइम एग्जाम्पल्स फ्रॉम देम. सेकंड इज री इन्वेस्टमेंट. री इन्वेस्टमेंट का मतलब है सम इन्वेस्टमेंट दैट यू नीड टू डू इन द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. अगर आप 5 साल बाद रिन्यू करते हैं, आपको री इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ता है. इट कुड ऑल्सो बी री इन्वेस्टमेंट इन द स्टॉक, which sometimes is needed, reinvestment in the infrastructure, because kuch investments aisi hain which you don't have to invest on day one. If I take an example of a K-12 school, aapka K-12 school 5 saal leta hai pura taiyar hone mein. So your entire investment is staggered over a period of the first 5 years, where the entire infrastructure of the school is developed. So understand that there's a reinvestment to be made, kin areas mein investment, and how much capital you need to invest in there. Fifth is your legal agreements, and this is something very very important because हिंदुस्तान में कोई laws नहीं है franchising के ऊपर. Everything which becomes a part of the contract is a binding between you as a franchisee and the company. So ये बड़े watertight agreements होते हैं. Take a lot of understanding on these agreements, and we also have a friend legal team at Franchise India which helps you also vetting these agreements. And lastly, I would say hedging of the risk. The only reason why we want to buy business is because we feel that we know that we don't want to take too high a risk. So understand from these companies how that risk is being hedged. And especially अगर वो FICO मॉडल है या FOCO मॉडल है जहाँ पे कंपनी ऑपरेट करती है, तो जो आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट है उसको कैसे डिरिस्क किया जा रहा है. आपका स्टॉक है, अगर आप स्टॉक का कोई बिजनेस में अगर वो कोई स्टॉक नहीं मूव कर रहा है या स्लो मूविंग है या नहीं चल रहा है, इस कंपनी बाइंग दैट स्टॉक. अगर कोई स्टॉक आपका एक्सपायर हो जाता है, मेडिसिन है, पर्सनल केयर में बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, will the company buy that stock? So all these questions are something that you must ask the brand before you decide to go ahead. And next slide, I'll take you on the process, friends, that we follow. And this is something which is on the top of every investor mindset. I did talk about that in my last slide. So your interest in the industry, people behind hedging of your risk, 5 साल का growth horizon, payback period कितना है. हर बिजनेस का पेबैक पीरियड अलग होता है. No two businesses would have the same payback period. Anything from 1.5 years to 7-8 years on an average is the horizon for people to get their investments back. And lastly is your level of engagement, which is very important. जितना आप engaged होंगे अपनी brand के साथ, you will feel more pride in getting associated. And I've seen so many franchisees who have also their second and third generation now doing the business. We had a company Sleepwell, I'm sure we all know the brand, leading mattress company hai, and we had one of their partners once come at one of our forums. He said, I'm the third generation entrepreneur, I've been running this, and he has the entire Karnataka with him. So his grandfather was doing it, passed on to his father, and now he has taken, and that's a very robust business because the entire family was attached to the culture and the entire I would say value chain, so to say. So these are 6 things which every investor keeps in mind, and we also as Franchise India advisors, we consider before we advise you on any opportunity. Next slide. And this is the process that we follow. This is a tried and tested methodology which is done, executed by Franchise India advisors, all 97 cities where we have our teams. They take you through this entire process, which starts with the information stage where our teams equip ourselves with entire information that we need to know about you. Sometimes when I communicate with investors, they spend hours discussing with our team, अच्छा इस brand के बारे में बताइए, इसके बारे में बताइए. And I would say that is not the right approach, unless we understand about, your requirement, what you need, क्या investment आप देख रहे हैं, किस location पे आप खोलना चाहते हैं. Our teams can just give you random information, but they will never be able to advise if I don't understand your site. So information stage is where we equip ourselves with complete information about you. आपका profile क्या है, कितना investment आप देख रहे हैं, किस location पे आप खोल रहे हैं. And this is based on the SOMF fit. अगर आप देख रहे हैं evaluation के नीचे SOMF fit, this is strategic fit, which could be your own experience in that industry, your own knowledge on that particular, your own interest. It could also be a location that you own. उस location पे आप क्या बिजनेस सूट कर सकता है. सेकंड, वी अंडरस्टैंड ऑपरेशनल फिट. आपका कितना टाइम है जो आप बिजनेस में आप देना चाहते हैं, दे सकते हैं. थर्ड इज मार्केट फिट. व्हाट इज राइट फॉर द मार्केट, फॉर दैट प्रॉपर्टी, फॉर दैट लोकेशन. सेकंड इज द ब्रांड आल्सो हैविंग हिज रोल आउट. ब्रांड का रोल आउट नहीं होता उस लोकेशन के लिए, सो वो हम समझते हैं. लास्टली इज फाइनेंशियल फिट, व्हिच मींस इन्वेस्टमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो आपके फाइनेंशियल बजट को देखते हुए होंगी, तो ये 4 फिट हम देखते हैं, समझते हैं, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट वी स्टार्ट शेयरिंग द अपॉर्चुनिटीज. And when I do that, I will not have 1000, we have more than 1000 webinars that we have done in these last 2 years. Website पे 1000 से ऊपर कंपनीज हैं, आके बिजनेस मॉडल बताया हुआ उन्होंने अपना. But our teams will not random give any brands to you. Once you've evaluated this SOMF fit, then we will give you 10-15 opportunities जो हमें लगता है इन सब चीजों को ध्यान रखते हुए शेयर करते हैं. And in this evaluation, we follow approach which we call as a tri-party meeting, where our teams also participate end to end from the very first stage, where we understand what you need. Second, evaluating and filtering from maybe 1000 or 10,000 companies that we currently work with. उन 10,000 में से आपके लिए कौन से 10 businesses हैं जो आपकी मार्केट के लिए राइट है, आपके लिए राइट है, उसको इवेल्युएट हम करते हैं. एंड वी पार्टिसिपेट इन मीटिंग्स, जो आपकी फिजिकल मीटिंग्स ब्रांड के साथ होती हैं, चाहे वो फिजिकल है, चाहे वो वर्चुअल है, टेलीफोन के ऊपर है, जूम के ऊपर है, वो सारी मीटिंग्स में हमारी टीम पूरा पार्टिसिपेट करती है और आपके साथ दे असिस्ट यू with all information that you need to know about the brand. And most importantly is deal structuring, जहाँ पे हमारा सबसे ज्यादा टाइम जाता है, because information तो आप कहीं से भी ले सकते हो. आप information ब्रांड की वेबसाइट से भी ले सकते हो, हमारी फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया की वेबसाइट से ले सकते हो, हमारे इवेंट फिजिकल इवेंट से आप ले सकते हो, वर्चुअल शो से ले सकते हो. बट व्हाट यू कैन नॉट गेट फ्रॉम एनीवेयर इज डील स्ट्रक्चरिंग. कि मेरे लिए क्या डील मेरी मार्केट के लिए है, what is that can be right for me. That is one area that we put most of our energies and time on. So this is where I would say a real value comes in. And this is further followed by LOI. जो भी आपका LOI होता है, letter of intent जिसको हम कहते हैं, और agreement होता है, that we sign up. So हमारा जो प्रोसेस रहता है end to end रहता है, from information stage to the time that you sign up with the company. That's where our entire team, our advisors work with you very closely. And I will also take you through, when you become a registered investor with Franchise India, what you get. So we have dedicated hours for each of the activity that we work with you, starting with the assessment of the industry. Next slide, please. Then going with the evaluation, which is self-evaluation meeting. Our teams work with you, what is right for you. We give you enough inputs so that we can help you sort the industry. And we also do conduct along with you. We don't give you random information, ये 10 brands हैं आप पढ़ लीजिए and go and meet the brand, but we would participate in these 10 discovery days. जो आप जितने brands होंगे उससे filter करके जो हम companies निकालते हैं, तो minimum 5 घंटे हैं हम आपको discovery days में हमारी team participate करती है आपके साथ. We also give you invitations to our physical shows. Every month there's a big show that we do. We have Chennai, which is happening in March. Then we have Ahmedabad, Hyderabad. Every month there is a very big event which happens only one time in that city, where we have 100 to 200 companies participating, in about 5,000, 10,000 people coming in visiting this show. And these are all paid investors who come to our show, but we give all our registered investors get a complimentary invitation to all the shows that you want to visit. Plus you also get invitations to our monthly events. Franchise India also does. This month we have about 20 events. We have 15-20 companies coming, and you also get a complimentary invitations, invites, and also assistance. जो भी आपका local advisor होगा, he participates with you in arranging these meetings and takes you through the entire process. And this is a structure of 1 year. 1 साल तक हमारा advisory session होता है, which is valid आपका registration. We also do 30 minutes of legal assistance agreement, where our teams would take you through. Our friend legal team would work with you. And 2 hours, like I mentioned, is most that we spend on the brand. जो brand आप decide कर लेते हैं, उस पे 2 घंटे हमारी team लगाती है. And this is where it takes most of the time, because today even if you like a brand, आपको उसकी investment पता है, आपको royalty पता है, आपको उसके खर्चे पता है, but you are it takes at least 15-20 days minimum after we've decided everything to even structure the deal sometimes. So this is where our most energies go. And as a company, we sometimes participate also if any kind of mediation is required. But as a, I would say, facilitator, we have a limited role, because we are not a tri-party partner in the agreement. But if both parties, brand and investor, or franchisor and franchisee, wants us to mediate, we'll be more than happy to extend that. And lastly, the first 10 candidates जो इस webinar के through register होते हैं, I and Gaurav Maria, who's the chairman of the company, both of us would do either a physical meeting session with you if we are from the same location and city, and we'll help you brainstorm, what is right. So, and what it takes, to become a member is a flat fee of 25,000 that you pay, and this is valid for a period of 1 year with a success fee of 50,000. मतलब 25,000 would commit my time. अगर आप serious हैं business खरीदने के लिए, I need to be sure that I'm communicating with the investor or the business buyer who appreciates my time involvement, who appreciates and respects the time that our advisors, our company put in. Because this is not a one-time job. It is not overnight that we send you information, next day we decide we want to do the business. I have seen my teams working on just single deal for months also. 1 महीना, 2 महीना, 3 महीने भी कई बार, depending on the deal size and the complexity of the deal. We put, a lot of hours in all these deals. So this 25,000 commits your time, commits my time, and that's what we do. And and when the deal has been taken or the transaction has been done, only after that, once you have signed on the dotted line, you've paid the company, only then I take my brokerage, which is a flat fee of 50,000 rupees. So friends, I'll request all of you, we have our teams, like I mentioned, all across India. And if you're looking at any call with them, any meeting with them, I will also put my email ID. Anybody who wants to maybe write to me, meet with me, you can reach out on this number. And you can WhatsApp also. It's 8800493185. And we also have a hotline number, which is 9717683838. You can reach out to all these numbers, and our team based out of Delhi headquarters, they will reach out to all of you, and based on your availability of time, हम आपका आधे घंटे का session अपने सारे advisors के साथ रखेंगे. Whether you want to go ahead, register is secondary, but I feel because you've taken this time out to be a part of this webinar, we would still want to do maybe a half an hour brainstorm session जहाँ पे हम आपको समझ पाएं, आप अपनी requirements समझा पाएं, and if we see there's a merit for both of us to work together, then we would take the discussion ahead. And Ashish, welcome. I am just quickly reading some of the questions, and friends, you can keep writing, and I'll quickly take in the next couple of minutes. And Namichi, you can reach out on my email ID. I've just put in the chat box. आप इसमें से email ID और number आप देख सकते हैं. Just send me what your company does, what kind of clinic products you do, and what kind of model you have. अभी आपका distribution है कि नहीं, क्या business आपका है. So all that I need to understand. अगर आप मुझे आप लिखेंगे, we can get on a call. Ashish, you looking for something in the FOCO model? We have many businesses, but I don't know what city you are from. If you send me your details on the WhatsApp number, maybe our regional team member from that city would be able to reach out to you. And at the same time, I will also request that we also set up a time so that I understand कितना investment आप देख रहे हैं, and आपका interest, location, property आप own करते हैं नहीं करते देखना है. We can advise you. And Kisleji, we would be able to share the PDF. Yes, we would be able to share the PDF. All of you friends, whoever want the PDF of this presentation, please WhatsApp on this number 880049. We'll be able to set up one, a call with our advisor, and second, we'll be able to share the entire business presentation that we gave you with explanation of the business ideas. Kisleji, I'll request if you want a presentation on the business opportunities, because there are many opportunities. If we get to start even discussing one, we can spend maybe months discussing this. अगर आप कुछ देखना चाहते हैं, then I would suggest आप आधे घंटे का, पौने घंटे का, या at least 1 hour session you book, book with our teams, physical meeting या virtual meeting. And if you're somewhere in Delhi, I would be also more than happy to meet and discuss with you. But even if you're outside, I'll be more than happy to come on a call even. But if I know your location, our teams can reach out to you. हमारे हर city में teams हैं, representatives हैं, who can come meet you in person to build that comfort and understand what you need. Because ये आपकी lifetime saving है जो आप किसी business में लगाते हैं. I would urge one thing: don't rush in to invest in any business. Take thorough time, अपना due diligence कीजिए, सारे insights लीजिए business के ऊपर, सारा का सारा franchisees से बात कीजिए. Any business also you have selected, maybe speak and take some references of existing partners also. So very helpful, Kisleji. Yes, I think our Bombay teams can meet with you, and should we want to even discuss, I'll request you can WhatsApp, and our teams can fix up a time. I'll be more than happy to come on a virtual call, or maybe we can connect over phone also. And tomorrow we have another event, friends, which is happening. And this is one of the leading electric vehicle. And this is one category I see a very huge demand coming. And rather, every time we have any communication going for electric vehicle, I get the highest response, because this is one category, which is becoming very very big. So tomorrow we're launching a company called Bounce Infinity. आप Google पे search कर सकते हैं इस company के लिए. Hrithik Roshan is the brand ambassador, and they're launching a full stack model. This company also produces इनके electric vehicles हैं, they do two-wheelers, and they also have charging stations which they are offering as a franchisee. So everything from the electric vehicle dealership to charging stations, they're offering everything. And the investments, I think, starts as low as about 10 lakh of rupees. So if you want to know this opportunity, gain more insights on how this business operates, you can copy this link immediately because we are closing. So you can click on this link and register yourself. I'll request all of you, आप chat box में से आप इसका आप link आप copy कर सकते हैं. For reasons you miss out, you can even WhatsApp on this number so that we can send you the link. It is happening tomorrow 12 o'clock on Zoom. So don't miss that, friends, and I wish you all the best. And all of you from Bangalore, we have a show which is happening on this Saturday in Bangalore, which is in MG Road. There's a location called Beehive Work co-working space. So we have about 20 companies which are participating on this event on this day. So it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning till 6:30 in the evening. If you're interested, Beehive is the co-working space where we are bringing some franchise opportunities where all investors have an opportunity to come meet, brands one-to-one. So wish you all the best, friends, and have a great day ahead. Thank you.